important is when we learn as a group, like we just did, we're actually able to learn much quicker. So it's important to be aware of the community. So together we connected to Allah just now. And so it's more powerful than just your own little prayer. I was here, and other imams were here, and other people who are interested in connecting to Allah were here. There was a spirit of people connecting to Allah. So when we have this shared insight, it's different to an individual insight. If it was a one-to-one lesson, to some extent, if you can appreciate this, it was actually more powerful. Even though my attention wasn't just on one you, and I wasn't listening to you directly, because there were so many of you trying to use the energy, you'll notice it's very powerful. So that's why I like to do the live session. And what I notice is everyone's very scared of sharing their experience. People are scared of putting their experience into words. People are scared of saying, how do I connect with Allah? So again, noticing that we are scared of our mistakes to some extent. Definitely, every one of you. To some extent, you would be scared of, how do I connect to Allah? This is a new thing. I've never thought about it this deeply before. So I don't expect you all to suddenly become really, really brave. But I mean, who else is? If you're the people who took out 1 hour from your life to connect to Allah, and you stuck with this all the way through. You're the people who've had the activations. You're the people who've had these realizations. And most of you are people who study with me one-to-one. So you're very, very lucky and fortunate to have these opportunities to actually connect with Allah, appreciate this connection with Allah on such a deep level. And when I say in the course on YouTube to leave your comment, I would say that is, don't underestimate the power of that. I will recommend now for all of you that if you're on any of the WhatsApp groups, if you're on CICC WhatsApp group, if you're on the Colchester Islamic Community WhatsApp group, if you're on the volunteers group, if you're not from Colchester and you're on the IQRA group, or I don't know, man, how I know you people, even if you just go onto YouTube and try and build the YouTube community, you'll be surprised at how useful your insights are for other people. When you open up and say, I connect to Allah like this, other people will be like, oh yeah, so do I. And they'll notice the activations. Does that make sense to everyone? Do you make some noise, please? So it's actually really important to be brave and actually comment. When other people are having difficulty connecting with Allah and they're like, oh, I'm trying but it's hard, or this is difficult, or it's confusing. You can be like, yes, it is confusing. It's hard, it's difficult. Yeah. But just remind them to bring curiosity. Remind them to bring attention to the breath. And I will always, so if you're just looking at the slide now, always comment and help others. Act like you actually care about your own spirituality, so that you actually have a book for your spirituality, or you have an app, you have downloaded an app on your phone, which is your notes for your spiritual journey and your connection with Allah. For those of you that study one-to-one, I recommend that Gratitude app, any app which allows you to take notes. And if I would prefer for you to actually assign a book and assign a pen, and actually write in a journal. But for those of you who aren't that advanced, just downloading an app, typing every day, and seriously the power of leaving your comment in the YouTube section. You have your practice and you share what you learn in the YouTube section. Say that today I learnt, and try and explain. Try and put it into words. And that will, it'll force you to think. But don't worry too much about what other people think of you as well. I know a lot of us are very scared. So, inshallah, what I want everyone here, I know there's 13 of us here now. So for any of you who are in a WhatsApp group, do share what you learn. This is very, very powerful. It's more powerful than you think. I think we underestimate. This is for you, not for the people around you. It's not for me. Yeah, like the community is essentially you guys. And when you guys build and learn together and are brave enough to share your experiences, you'll just learn from each other so much quicker. And when you come one-to-one with me, you'll notice that your lessons are, a bit deeper. We'll learn different things. A lot of the things which I'm saying today are from the one-to-one lessons with you guys. So you pick it up, and you're very, very lucky to have that. And when you start writing down and taking your experience seriously, this will give you the last point on the slide. This will give you an awareness of your awareness, which is deep. So I'd recommend, seriously, if you're doing the courses on YouTube, do try and put your experience of your connection with Allah. The mission that I have is to connect people with Allah. Is everyone happy with that? Like, there's not a complex thing which is going on here. So the courses on YouTube are designed to connect you to Allah. If you do them and think about them, you will appreciate your connection to Allah in a different way. They will give you activations and maybe not so much information. But the activation happens when you try and put your experience into words. When you bring curiosity, when you follow, it's about following the instructions. The biggest obstacle is often this unconscious energy. And reading A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim allows us to realize that Shaitan is there with his unconscious energy. Giving these whispers that is hard and that is difficult and that Allah's kind of this confusing me. If you can just realize. So this last slide, I just want you to bring attention to spiritual maps. You will today have within this webinar, if you've been here since the beginning, you will have learned a lot of your own maps. And so you may have noticed that when you slow down and focus on air, or though, at first it's a bit mechanical, and I appreciate that. But then suddenly you find this thing called flow. Although where you're flowing. Appreciate that. Now you're going to learn to do that better and better every lesson, inshallah. Every time you take a course on YouTube. I do those courses on YouTube myself. They give you the activation. What you need is in there. And maybe, when you practice them 4 or 5 times for a few months and you commented, I'd say play full out. Don't go half in. I would seriously say, if you're going to go do the course on YouTube, leave a comment in that video. That means you're playing full out. That means you're pushing yourself and you're actually caring about this process. Your connection with Allah means something to you. You're pushing yourself, and other people will comment as well. So appreciate. And I just want to finish off spiritual maps. I just want to talk about impact awareness as the last thing I want you to become aware of, is that every single one of you impacts the people around you. So for those of you that are fathers, you impact your kids a lot. Simple. For those of you that are uncles, you impact your nephews. For those of you that are brothers, for those of you, whoever you live with, you impact them. And even just on your YouTube community, even if you send a message to one person, you impact them. And on the WhatsApp community, you are one of those 150 people in that group. If from that group, if 10% of that group, if 10 people from that group start talking about connecting to Allah, then suddenly you see a shift in the energy, in where people are focusing. So your impact is actually much bigger than you think. And sometimes as Muslims, we think it's like we're not meant to be like all talking about how much we affect the world and stuff. Is everyone there? I'm back on video. Hello everyone, wake up please. Sheikh Sahil, well done. Hello. Ali Sher, Cherno, you want to sleep? Abdullah, hey, Hassan, video, Nadeem, everyone's run away. This one not good, man. Anyway. Come on people, man, keep the attention and keep the community together, man. Relying on you, man. We've got coronavirus and everyone's a bit depressed, everyone's a bit sad. We need some connection here. So we need you people here, man. You're the people, man. This is the exact point I'm making. That when I say this, sometimes we do think that it's actually not about it's not about connecting to Allah. Sorry, what am I talking about, man? Sometimes we come here and we realize it's about our own little journey, and we're all on our own little journeys wherever we are. And just the thing I wanted to talk about was impact awareness, yeah? So understand this, give this a name. Impact awareness, you brothers will probably have, because of the way we're brought up, sometimes we're scared of our impact awareness. It's good to become aware of your impact. It's good to know how many people you influence. If you are a positive influence on your wife, you should know that. If you're a positive influence on your son, you should know that. If you're a positive influence in your household, you should be aware of your influence. What I've just spoken about in the slide before is if you put one comment in a WhatsApp group, you influence the energy of the group. If you put one comment on a video, on a YouTube video, you influence that community there. If you behave in a certain way at home, you influence your community at home. So some of you will have started reciting the Quran more freely. That affects the environment in your house. So you all have a very, very powerful contribution. And sometimes I think in our society we're told to not notice that. To not feel that you've really done something good for your family or done something good for the community. And we're kind of like, oh yeah, I don't do that much, I'm just, kind of a small person. But it is good to realize that. If you affect somebody in a positive way, you can actually make a difference. So use these powers of yours. Speak on the WhatsApp group, leave your comments on the YouTube videos, and use your powers to build the community, inshallah. Is everyone following? Everyone's turned their mics off, man. Is everyone there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Come on, people, man. Shall we?
Yeah, still here.
I think we've been for about an hour now, so I think I'm going to start bringing this to a close.